Hey everybody, welcome back to some more Lord of the Rings Online. I'm here hanging out with my buddy Langland. The only reason I'm here is because I completely forgot to do a quest which centers around the old forest. It's this quest here, Unwelcome Strangers. And the reason I kind of forgot about it is because here in the quest tracker, it actually shows up under the Shire, even though it's considered a bree-land quest. And even in the LOTRO wiki, it's listed in bree-land. So I just kind of forgot to do it. So let's go take care of that quest chain right now. Also, you may have noticed that in my playthrough there are no names above the enemies. You can toggle that on and off by pressing the N key. I like to keep it off because it's a lot more friendly that way. I mean, look, if I turn it on, just like everything has it, and it's just not as aesthetically pleasing, I think. So I like to keep that off. Although, from what I've seen in other videos, most people tend to keep them on. So I just wanted to kind of address that issue in case anyone was wondering. Also, quick reminder, if you're not already part of the Fellowship, be sure to join the Fellowship by hitting the subscribe button. I appreciate everybody who's sticking with me throughout this adventure. Or if you're just stopping by for a video or two, that's cool too. Welcome. So we have to collect Farmer Maggot's produce. And that's going to open up some other quests. Mainly in the old forest region, so we are going to have to go back up in there. I'm not sure if I just have to kill some brigands here and they'll drop something. Okay, and looks like I forgot to sell all my junk from the previous episode. That's alright though, we'll deal with that when the time is right. So let me take a look at the map. And let me see this. The brigand stockade is north, blah blah blah. Ask you to retrieve the Maggot's produce from the ruffians. So probably do have to just kill some of these. And then eventually one of them will drop it. Maybe not, I don't know. We'll keep killing though. Keep killing until we get something. Okay, looks like I am out of range here. Let me go back to the little blue circle. Might be in this other little camp here. Spamming my delete key. Oh, and I see it up ahead. Should be that thing right there. So let me sneak in and grab it. Okay. And now we have to take this back to Wilmac Brandybuck. I believe he is in Buckland. So let's ride all the way back. And I need to run by a task board somewhere. I haven't done any tasks in this season whatsoever, but I've been kind of hoarding some of the task items. So I can do some of those once I do come across a task board. I probably did run by several of them, I just didn't notice. So let me kind of remind myself a little bit about this quest. Farmer Maggot's produce was stolen by brigands. His farmhand's son and his son's friend escaped, but the produce meant for Buckland was taken away by brigands. So I think his son and his friends and all that, they kind of went to the old forest, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since we first picked up the first part of this quest.
Oh, woe is me.
You found the produce? I cannot thank you enough. I had thought it lost, but now I have concerns for Rollo and Dodric. Oh no.
I hope it's not a bother, but may I speak with you?
I'm worried about Rollo. After he and Dodric got back from looking for the brigands, they headed down towards Brandy Hall to speak with Saradoc, Dodric's uncle. They were none too happy and wanted to speak their minds on the job the Bounders are doing. Now, it's just possible he ran off with his friend Dodric on some lark. I wonder if you'd do me another favor and go over to Brandy Hall to look for Rollo? Brandy Hall is at the center of Buckland, south of the Buckland Gates. Hopefully, Dodric's uncle Sandrock, the master of Brandy Hall, will likely know where those boys have run off to. And actually, if you remember, we did see at least one of those hobbits up in the old forest previously, and I kind of made a note mentioning that we'll probably have to come back there for a quest later. By the way, Crick Hollow is Frodo's house. He actually bought property in Crick Hollow, in case anybody was wondering. That's why, if you remember one of the earlier epic quests, his house was all smashed up here in Crick Hollow. It's because the Nazgûl were looking for him.
Just a moment.
Maggot's farmhand sent you about Rollo? Then the boys did not heed my advice and followed their own wills, the fools.
Can I take a moment of your time?
It's strange that you should be asking after Rollo, especially at this moment. The tweens came to see me, upset by the lack of effort of the Bounders that the Bounders are doing here in Buckland with regard to the strange folk moving about. I told them the Bounders were doing all they could to keep the unsavory lot out of Buckland, but the pair were adamant about being heard and kept yammering on about the old forest. I warned them to stay clear of the forest because Tolly, or Woodcutter, said that things are queerer than ever. Tweens can be foolish, and I fear that the pair have been more foolish than normal. Dodrix knows his way around Bald Hill and not much further. If you're going to look for Rollo, you'd best start with Dodric, and you might as well tell him that I'm waiting for him too. Okay, so let's head back in the old forest once again. Kind of look for these silly hobbits. Have to remember to sell and clear my inventory before the next episode. So they're not too far deep into the old forest. They should be pretty close here. Only less than 500 meters that way. Looks like there is a fellow adventurer here, a hunter. It's my dream that one of you sees yourself in one of these videos and leaves a comment. That'll be awesome. I don't think these videos are popular enough for that though. Okay, so we're at the Bald Hill, and we have found one of the two hobbits, Dodric Brandybuck.
What do you need?
Uncle Saradoc is waiting for me? That bodes ill. I wish Rollo would hurry along. I cannot leave until he returns. We were chasing a brigand through here. We saw him sneaking about the gate and thought we'd do the Bounder's job for them. I confess that I lost my nerve as we crested this hill, and I saw the full scope of the forest. Rollo is a different sort, though, always comfortable to wander through the winding trails. There is an abandoned cottage along the Withy Window, southeast of here. He made mention heading that way, but that seems like hours ago. Perhaps you could go find him there and tell him to hurry on back. So let's go look for this guy. For Rollo. Roll on down to Rollo. So that's going to lead to a dead end. I'm going to have to come all the way across through here. So let's do that. Again, very easy to get lost in here. I do it without fail every time I come in. So I'll probably be pulling up my map quite often. Okay, I'm just gonna keep moving on south, and then we're gonna head east to the river, and then head to the cottage from there. That's the plan. And we'll turn here. And I think I see our friend. No, that's not him. It's not Rollo. It's that other guy. But But the abandoned cottage should be just up here. Although I probably need to go around. Yeah, let me go through here. There we go. There's Rollo with this giant sword. It's as big as him. It looks like he killed the brigand. What a badass.
Goodness.
He tried to kill me. I'll gut you like a fish and then your girl, he said. Or I'll make certain you never see your lovely again. I didn't mean for this to happen, but he threatened Celandine. I couldn't let him hurt her, could I? All I wanted was to get the notes I wrote for Celandine from him. You can't treat people like that. Good, honest hobbits we are. They don't want to hurt nobody. I'm going to stay here and give him an honest burial at least. Could you tell Dodric that I'm alright? But please don't tell him about any of this, will you? Could you take these two? Show them to Dodric, he'll understand. This doesn't feel the way I thought it would. So let me clear a little bit of space in my inventory. This actually does more damage than the spear I'm using now, but that's alright. I'm gonna get rid of it anyways. And let me read this Old Forest Guide. Okay, so it's gonna be quite long. Bear with me here if you're not interested. Go ahead and skip a few minutes, I guess. I am something of an expert on the Old Forest, having walked there since I was very young. I hope this small guide, work in progress though it is, will be helpful for those who wish to enjoy a nice stroll through the forest during the summer months. I hope to get it published when it's done. But for now, consider it a personal tour. Bonfire Glade. Bonfire Glade is right near the entrance. You just come through the tunnel under the hedge and head east till you get there. There are two fairly clear paths at the eastern and southern edges of the cleared space. If you head south, the trees get close on the left, so take the right path and follow it around to the east to Little Bald Hill. Keep moving east, it slopes upwards as you go, and ignore the side paths. You'll reach Bald Hill. Bald Hill, I like to sit underneath the only tree on its crown on sunny days. There's a good breeze up there above the canopy. Be careful if you want to go back to the Bonfire Glade from here. Two paths lead westward. The one you probably came from and another one that's more northerly. I usually don't go up that way since I once saw a wolf up there that gave me a fright. The path south of Bald Hill will take you down to the willows. Old Muddyfoot's Hill. Now, don't ask me who Old Muddyfoot was because that I don't know. This isn't so much a hill as it is a big rock sitting on a clearing. It's a good landmark if you're getting lost, though, since you can usually hear the toads away in the marsh to the south. The Bonfire Glade and Bald Hill are northwest and northeast respectively, but the paths shift sometimes, and it's hard to find the trails, especially around dusk. Bullfrog Hollow. This area is just south of Old Muddyfoot's Hill. Be careful where you step here, since the mud can get a good grip on your feet. I've squelched back home on many summer days, tracking muddy prints through the whole forest. Come to think of it, thus is probably where Old Muddyfoot got his name, whoever he was. If you can work your way east and north along the Withy Window from here, you'll find a cottage, but you're probably better off avoiding it. The man who lives there isn't very friendly. If you keep bearing northerly, you will eventually be able to go west to the Bonfire Glade or east to Bald Hill. Cottage. Stillwell isn't very nice, and won't even nod if he sees you passing. I don't think he likes hobbits. I try not to walk too near his cottage, which suits us both fine, I think. It's right on the river, so if you see his cook fire, you can find another path. Be careful if avoiding Stillwell brings you up the slope northwest of his cottage. The trees up there seem distrustful of outsiders, and I haven't managed to find any paths back to the familiar places in that direction. Shade Pool. I've only found the shady pool once, and the trees seem to be different places now. It was east and south of Stillwell's cottage, I think, at the bottom of a sloping hill, but the trees have shifted, and you can't go that way easily anymore. I think if you cross Withy Window south of the cottage and keep your eyes peeled for a path heading east, you can work your way east and eventually north. If the trees cooperate, and my sense of direction is working, two things that are unsure inside the forest. You should be able to hook a left immediately after hitting an open space, and work your way west to the shady pool. The dale was very foggy, but it was a pretty place. Old Man Willow. If you follow the Withy window east, you'll eventually come to a pleasant shore dominated by a truly gigantic willow. This is Old Man Willow, who they call the King of the Forest. Tales say he doesn't care for people who walk on legs, but I've never had any problems with him, so I suppose those are just as old an old wives' tale. Still, it's a nice place for fishing if the bugs don't come out. Tom Bombadil's house. Anyway, to the east side of the forest, old Tom Bombadil has lived in the forest with his wife Goldberry since time out of mind. There's some tall tales about old Tom, and I have to say he makes me feel kind of young and small when he talks to me, but the one thing you can be sure of with Tom Bombadil is that there is no harm in him, and nothing for any hobbit to fear in his company. Whew. So that was a long read, but gave us a very nice history of the old forest. Let's head back to Dodric and let him know that everything is okay. And kind of give him this guide as well to the old forest. So I'm actually headed the wrong way. I kind of need to go a little bit further west before heading north. So let me come through here. So we're here at Old Muddyfoot's Hill. Gotten pretty familiar with the forest now. I know my way around for the most part. Gotten a lot better, that's for sure. Alright, we're almost there. Back to the Bald Hill. Alright, Dodric.
What do you need?
So glad to know that Rollo is alright. That's such a relief. What is this? Maggot's notes to Celandine? And there are some references here that make it seem... No wonder he wanted to recover these from that man. Here, take them on to Celandine. She could see what Rollo thinks of her. Sorry, my voice is kind of going. I feel like I'm dehydrated. I need something to drink. I try not to drink while I'm recording. Try only to take drinks in between the episodes. That way you don't hear me awkwardly gulping or setting my glass down and things like that. I care way too much, don't I? People don't care. Let me try to get back to Buckland from here. Right. Am I going the right way? I need to go like east. Which way do I go? North or? Yeah, should be north. Alright, and we are out of here. Now, Celandine Brandybuck, wasn't she the lady from those first few quests of the game in Arquette? Wasn't she in Arquette? Or am I mistaken?
A lovely day, isn't it?
Oh, these are notes on the old forest from Rollo Maggot. Oh my, the boy is sweet on me, it seems. He is such a wonderful lad. I had never noticed this before. Thank you, Kippen. I will be certain to put these to good use. Now let's talk to Wilmac.
It's terrible. Just terrible.
You found him. He's coming back soon, and I can finish all I set out to do. For that, you deserve something. It may not be much, I fear, but here, please take it. It is, if it is of use to you. You have no idea how much you have helped me. So I probably need to get rid of some junk here. if I'm going to be able to collect these rewards. Okay. Excellent. So, I think we officially finished everything here in Buckland and in the Old Forest. So now I'm going to head back to Bree. There are a ton of quests to turn in there. We have the prologue, not the prologue, the epic. I keep calling it prologue. We have the epic quest, talking to Strider. And then we have all of these to turn in as well. So, since it is like 2,000 meters that way, I will edit myself over here in the Prancing Pony. So I can talk to Aragorn. And continue the epic storyline. I also did take the time. The door is locked. Jesus. What is going on? Okay. So let's go talk to Barlam and Butterbur. Anyways, as I was saying, I did take the time to also clear out my inventory while I edited my giant march debris. And I noticed that I have this item here. This javelin that is better than the one I currently have equipped, so I'm going to go ahead and switch that out. Okay, let's talk to the nice innkeeper.
How can I be of service?
Oh, hello there again. I was so busy that I didn't see you, but there's never a moment's peace here. If I may say so. I was so worried that he'd sour my beer before letting Mr. Underhill and his friends go off with that ranger. He? Who? Oh, why, that would be Mr. Gandalf, of course. They say he's a wizard or some such, and I'll say there must be something to those tales, for my beer's never been better. He was so pleased. Begging your pardon, but I do run on sometimes. Gandalf said to send anyone looking for Strider up to his room. It's up the stairs just beyond Strider's room. So if you remember, when I first came here to the Prancing Pony, I actually accidentally walked into Gandalf's room. And that's a bit of a mistake because, theoretically, at that time, he was still being held prisoner in Orthanc by Saruman. But since then, he's been released, and he should be hanging out up here. And sure enough, there he is.
Why do you disturb me?
You are lost, or seek me with intent. By the look in your eye, I gather the latter. Though I also sense you sought another. Strider, perhaps? Then, we have both come too late. Our mutual friend has left, bearing with him a terrible burden. I am Gandalf the Grey, a friend of Strider's. If he set you to a task, it could not be much less urgent than his own. Tell me your tale, and I will deliver it to him. So, Angmar arises. It is grim news, but I am not surprised. Nevertheless, I cannot turn aside from my own task, for the fate of Middle-earth hangs upon it. This burden I place upon you, in the name of the free peoples of Middle-earth. Hinder the Witch King's plans if you may. Whether east or north, I bid you good fortune. Farewell. So it's a pretty decent necklace. I'm probably going to use it.
I need your assistance.
Okay. You have done so much good for the people of Bree-land, but the shadow out of Angmar spreads far and wide. I have learned from Gwai here, the Wind Lord, that another of my order has found corruption in the Lonelands east of Bree. It may even be related to the dangers you encountered in the Great Barrow. Unfortunately, Radagast is given to wandering and will be difficult to find. I would ask that you enlist the assistance of the Rangers in finding his location. There is one here in Bree-land, Ceridan, who will be able to aid you. Head out of Bree through the west gate and turn north along the Greenway. Seek Ceridan at his cabin on the east side of the Greenway across from Thornley's worksite. Okay.
Why do you disturb me?
My friend, as you know, a great battle was fought at the foot of the Lonely Mountain many years ago. Now, with the trouble stirring in the east, I am concerned. I wish to know what happened to our allies and enemies of the past. Master Elrond in Rivendell is preparing for a council, which includes representatives of every folk and many lands. Perhaps he may have more insight as to the troubles. Are you willing to travel to Rivendell on my behalf? I have arranged for the swiftest travel possible to Imladris. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. So I accepted this quest, the road to the Lonely Mountain from Gandalf, and it automatically transported me to Rivendell. But we're not ready to be there yet. Not at all. So probably going to edit that part out. And we'll get to this quest a few seasons down the road So, hope you will stick around for that. But let's continue doing some quests around here. There's a ton still to turn in while we're here in Bree, so let's do just that. They're mainly in South Bree, so let me head on over that way. It looks like somebody has a quest ring here. But I can't talk to him just yet. He might be having a higher level quest for me, so I'll have to come back to that once I'm a little bit higher. Again, you do know that I do every single quest and every single deed in a region, but at the same time, every map does have a few quests and deeds that are above the level for that region, so there are always going to be a few things that I'm going to have to come back to eventually. Okay, so first of all, let me turn in some tasks finally. Let me see what I have here in my inventory. Okay, so I have hatchets, sword sheaths, broken daggers. Okay. What else? Sword sheaths. Worn sword sheaths. And what was this? Broken daggers. I don't think I can turn that one in. Broken wooden maces. What else do I have? Do have some wet skins. And what else? Some broken wooden maces and some mossy carapaces. Okay. And also, sneaky right here. Pretty easy to miss this quest. In fact, I probably would have missed it until I had to double check to make sure I hit everything, had I not come here. So there is a posted bill here. The writing on the bill is scrawled in a messy hand, as if the author had many such notices to prepare and could not mask his impatience with the task. It reads, "Greetings to you, friend. Have the delicious smells emanating on a hungry day from Mandrake's finest stews and sauces caused you desire that the mealtime was near? If so, you know the high quality of Sig Mandrake's preparations and know what is at stake should they be hindered. Sig Mandrake has need of interested parties to help him with the preparation of such a stew. Speak with him at his shop here in Bree, east of Mudgate, for the details." Okay, we will do that. So let me turn in all these tasks.
What do you need?
Again, I can only do 5 per day.
How can I be of service?
At least for right now.
What can I do for you?
But that is okay.
How can I be of service? What can I do for you?
And there we go, I've reached my task limit. And looks like I got a personal message here, let's see. Somebody asking me to join their kinship. Not ready to join a kinship yet, so I'm gonna have to decline. Although he does seem very nice. Nothing personal, just don't want to be in a kinship right now. Although I should probably start looking into getting into a kinship soon. That way I can start doing some of the group content that I'm going to be coming across. Including the Great Barrow here in bree-land. I'm going to have to find people to kind of help me with that one. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Alright, let's turn in a ton of quests over here. So the Shade's Tomb. Let's call out the Shade. If you remember, this is the brother of the guy who was out in the Barrow Downs. Shining and gleaming, I hath seen this before on hand of my kin, as death pulled him forth. In the stone of clove, where life abed away, we had hid treasure and summoned forth death. Now shall I rest, and my brother the same. At last peace, at last a dream. Seek the black rock. Cool. So that's the end of that storyline. And looks like my reputation with the men of Bree here is steadily getting closer and closer to kindred. Let's turn in all these quests.
What do you need?
Thank you for gathering the grave moss, Kippen. This moss can be used in several poultices, which may be rather useful. It will take me some time to extract ingredients from the moss, however. If you return to Hod Irkith, Gwantham and Gotham and Hod Nogbun, please speak with me, as I may require additional grave moss. Again, this is a repeatable quest, and for the sake of this playthrough, I only do repeatable quests once, because that means they'll turn up as completed in my quest log, and there's really no point in doing things 500 times over, especially when there's so much content I have to get through. Thank you for doing the people of Bree the service. If you return to those tombs, can you please come and see me before you return? I may ask you to seek out other horrors that stalk the halls of the Barrows. However, these repeatable quests are a good way to get reputation with the men of Bree.
How can I be of service?
You have done it. Look here, Kippen. Wasn't scared to go into those old hills, huh? Don't mind the other hunters, they are all superstitious fools. They think the Barrow Downs are haunted. Can you believe it? Okay. And again, just double checking that the only 2 quests she has available are the repeatable quests, which I have already completed.
What do you need?
Thank you kindly for preserving this knowledge. It will take me some time to translate the text. If you return to the Barrow Downs again on another time, please let me know, as I am trying to gather as many of these texts as possible.
What do you need?
Thank you for bringing me these barrow shards from the depths of the barrows. Hopefully I will be able to collect quite a number of these, and perhaps reconstruct some of the tablets lost to the ages. It will take me some time to look over these shards. If you speak with me a bit later, I may need some more of these shards to further my research. Excuse me.
What can I do for you?
You have done us all a great service by your deeds. Your name will be spoken fondly throughout Bree. It will take me some time to spread word of your deeds. If you travel again to the Barrows, seek me out, as I may have another task for you to accomplish. So again, all 3 of those quests are repeatable. Only going to be doing them once, of course. Okay. So I think I've been recording for quite a long time. So we're going to go ahead and call it an episode. So it looks like the mayor of Bree has a message for me. Please accept my thanks. Further, accept this letter, read it, and return it to me in Bree Town Hall. Alright, so let's detach that. And, hold on, let's read this. Graham's thanks. Kippen, I ask you at your convenience that you visit me in Bree Town Hall. I wish to thank you personally for attending to an issue that has long plagued the folk of Bree. I hear that it was you who had a hand to do with the haunting of our town ending, and I wish to see the hero of Bree for himself. Okay. Excellent. So, we are going to continue this adventure in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching this one, and I hope to see you next time.